Being complete, and now the F1 intro's on, and that is that in a few minutes.
It should be like, yeah, we're live.
Hello everyone, and welcome along to the third round of the ILR3 World Championship, and we are live from the Bahrain International Circuit here in Sakia. Well, it's the desert night. It's one of a few races on the calendar that have got the floodlights on, along with Singapore and of course Abu Dhabi. Alongside me tonight I've got Sam, or also known of course as Flexi. And Sam, it's going to be a cracking race tonight, isn't it? It's one of my favourite tracks. Is it one of yours?
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favourites. It's a nice power track. You can really get some overtakes around here, especially on the DRS straight as well. So we should see some moves into turn 1 tonight, really.
Yeah, turn 1 will be a real position to make a move, even at the start, of course. A long run down to that first corner, and of course down in that straight parallel, of course, between turn, I think it's turn 9, 10 and 11, that little section there. So good overtakes can be made there. Of course, even if on the exit of the first corner, on the run up the hill, towards turn 3 and 4, I have another great opportunity to make an overtake. So yeah, as you say, Sam, some great opportunities to overtake on this racetrack. Before we get ourselves concerned with the Grand Prix, let's get ourselves concerned with qualifying, which is just starting here as the sun begins to set here in Bahrain, and several drivers are pouring out onto the racetrack for their opening laps of the session. We've got Cloudy Balloons, we've got Carl Mez, King MJJ, who we know runs very well here, heading out onto the track, the Joker as well. Before we talk about qualifying, let's talk about the ILR3 drivers' standings. Of course, Jack Gooding and Yannick sharing top spot, both of them winning a race so far. Jack Gooding winning the opening Grand Prix in Melbourne, and then a no score in the second Grand Prix in China. Meanwhile, Yannick was not here for the opening race, and he turned up, of course, in style on his debut and won last time out in China. So they both have the top spot in the championship, 25 points each. Then it's Wazi in third with 23 points, a solid haul from him after just 2 races. Onlide is fourth, the Joker is fifth, both of those guys on 18 points. Then it's the mighty King MJJ in sixth on 18 points. Will Racer the seventh with 15, and then it's Casper in eighth, 14 points. Goody in ninth with 14 points, and Danny 10th with 12 points. So Sam, a very, very tight championship in the early stages. A lot of drivers taking points off one another, particularly from 4th down to what, the 10th position. Only 6 points covering them at this early stage. Do you think that could be a feature for the whole season? Is this a really tight field, do you think?
Yeah, I think this is one of the tightest fields, maybe after ILR2 in my opinion. It's you know, there's so many race winners in this tier, you can't really call any race. You know, it should be really interesting this whole season, to be honest. It should really be quite an exciting one.
Yeah, it really will be, and trying to pick a winner, as you say, will be very, very difficult. I don't fancy going down to the bookies after qualifying to make a bet, put it that way, as we watch Acorn. I don't think a quick look at him. He's actually using Carl Meds in front of him for a toe down the start-finish straight into turn 1. So Acorn being a little bit wise there, but that might cost him as he goes through that middle sector. With dirty air and these F1 2017 cars, a major factor, a major talking about point amongst the drivers on Friday about the dirty air they will get over the weekend and how difficult it will be to follow other cars through this middle sector where we're watching Acorn negotiate now. And I'm a big fan of this section of track, and I'll see a few moves down here into this first of the 2 hairpins. I really enjoy it. Sam, do you see that as a real overtaking opportunity if you don't have the straight line speed? Someone in that middle sector to make a move?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if someone gets a poor run through there, you can definitely make a move, especially down the inside. I prefer to try and go around the outside to try and get the line for the next corner, but yeah, definitely some moves going down there for sure.
Yes, and a lot of drivers also going out on super soft tires, most runners having indeed chosen that. And Sam, I don't know about you, of course, being a driver yourself, I'm more of a commentator, I don't really know too much about strategy and things like that. Maybe you could give us a little hand. Have you done any practice for ILR2? Are you expecting a 1-stop, a 2-stop here this weekend?
I haven't done any practice personally, but going from like last season in the Race of Champions, it's definitely going to be a 1-stop. Most drivers will probably go supers to mediums. There might be the audacious strategy of supers to softs, but that kind of costs you in the mid part of the race. But yeah, we definitely see some supers to mediums here.
Okay, well there you go. Sam, of course, experienced himself racing in ILR2, which of course you can watch this weekend at around 7 o'clock, or it's a little bit later, sorry, because of the Bahrain Grand Prix, isn't it? What is it? Is it 8 o'clock this time? Half 7 or something like
7:30, yeah.
7:30 there, sorry about that. 7:30, it will be a 6 o'clock start for ILR1 next weekend as well. So everything moving back, moving forward half an hour. So of course you can keep an eye on Sam, who you'll see races in ILR2 later on this weekend. But we'll keep our focus at the moment on ILR3, and it's the Joker who's gone quickest with a 128.795, and oh, behind him on the racetrack we've got someone in the wall. Who was that on their outlap crashing? A Toro Rosso. Oh, it was FC Gran 06 in the wall on the exit of the hairpin and knocking down the DRS board for good measure. Would you call that a disaster, Sam? I think I would call that a disaster,
definitely a disaster out there. Completely wheel spinned it out there straight into the wall. He won't want to be watching that one back anytime soon.
No, he won't, and he ends up knocking down the DRS board, and that will frustrate many of the drivers who will be hoping to get onto that button as quickly as they can. Fast fingers, get onto the DRS button to try and help increase your straight line speed, increase your lap time. And as the Joker comes in, he's currently quickest as we go through the halfway point of qualifying, a 128.795. He's 2 tenths quicker than Goody in second. Carl Med's just a fraction slower than him in third. Jack Gooding, the first man in the 29 with a 129 flat. Yannick also on a 129 flat. There's Mr. Sim and Cloudy Balloons and Ritson all on a 129.1. A very, very tight midfield there. Wazzy, who's third in the championship, is 9th quickest at the moment. And make that 10th as low racer now goes 9th on a 129.5. Wazzy 10, 129.6. And Econ 11th on a 130.2 with some work to do. So Disciples has gone in 12th quickest, the 130.6 on the soft compound tyre. So that's quite interesting to see him going for soft. So what's that strategy there, do you think, Sam? Soft to medium, do you think? Or he's thinking maybe?
Yeah, probably soft to medium, yeah, definitely. It's probably on par with the supers to mediums. Obviously you'll be quicker in the first stint with the supers, but you can go longer on those softs and pit later than the guys on the supers. So it's interesting, but I would say the supers to mediums is quicker.
Supers to mediums, okay, there we go. That's the quicker choice. I heard in the paddock that Jamie was considering qualifying on softs. So we'll keep an eye on him as Yannick hits the line and goes quickest of all, 128.605, lowering the bar somewhat by 2 tenths now, quicker than the Joker. And Sam, are we getting closer towards the pole time? Is a 28.6 a reasonable shout for pole, do you think?
Yeah, I think maybe we could stretch a 28.5, possibly a 28.4, but yeah, 28.6 is definitely quick. And you know, he won last time out, so you know, he's definitely a strong favourite.
Jamie's now gone third quickest. I see he's put the super softs on, so he's abandoned that soft run and gone on to the super softs. We said it before we went on here, that me and Sam, Jamie is very, very quick around this Bahrain circuit. He spoke to me during the week and said that a lot of the drivers on ILR3 tend to go for time trial. They try to practice qualifying, and Jamie feels that he will be quicker in the race. Well, I'll tell you what, if that's his qualifying pace, Sam, I can't wait to see his race pace. Could we be on for a famous Jamie victory, perhaps?
I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but I think we could, you know. He's definitely got the pace around here. He's always had the pace around here, so I would love a Jamie win here, to be honest.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what, I've always wanted to commentate on a Jamie victory, and like I'm stepping into ILR3 this weekend, I certainly hope I can, because that would really top it off. That would justify my decision to commentate in this race, along with the great racing that we've seen in recent weeks, of course, in China, with the Ferraris and the McLarens battling. And if Jamie could pull off a result, it would be a popular one, it has to be said. So we'll keep an eye on him. But with 3.5 minutes to go, he's put himself right in the mix, only 2.5 tenths away in third position. Most drivers are in the pits at the moment. Jamie, I think, about to come in. So yeah, a lot of cars using this little period to try and build up for their final runs. If we get anyone out there on a quick one at the moment, what about Audio Grill? He's backed off, I think. He's not on a quick one. What about Sir Lanex? He's coming up towards the end of the lap, currently 16th, yet to properly feature on the timing sheet as he takes the Haas round the final corner and up to the line. The man from Sheffield hitting the checkered flag, or not the checkered flag, hitting the line, and goes 12 quickest on the softs, 1.5 seconds off the pace. So it looks like he won't have time to come in and fit a set of super softs. So it looks like he is going for a outside the top 10 start with fresh tyre choice, Sam, doesn't it look like that?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. He'll probably start on mediums and try and go on the supers at the end. So
try and do something different. So that will be one to watch as Econ now starts a lap. Let's actually ride on board with Econ for a lap of this Bahrain circuit. Heading through that first corner now. Very tricky sometimes, Sam, to get it right on the brakes, isn't it? You can easily overshoot into turn one and ruin your lap, can't you?
Yeah, I've done that many a time in the past, and it just completely ruins your whole momentum for the whole lap. You have to get turn one perfect here, otherwise your whole lap is just gone.
And if You now watch him go through 5 and 6. This really tests the aerodynamic grip of your car. If you're quick through here, you're going to be quick at quite a lot of circuits across the calendar. Now down into that tricky hairpin where we discussed you could maybe make a move, and then into another hairpin where you have to be ballsy and aggressive if you want to be serious about making an overtaking move. Again, another place where it's so easy to get the line wrong. It really is a fine line down into that hairpin, Sam. Turn 10, isn't it? Between getting it right and getting it wrong. If you get it spot on, you really do gain a lot of lap time, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. You can gain a good 2-3 tenths down there if you absolutely nail it, which I think he did quite well there as well. So we could be seeing a pretty good lap time here from Acorn.
We sure could from Acorn as he now enters that final sector through turn 13 and now down the back straight, out the back of the circuit, heading down towards the final corner. What can Acorn do in that McLaren? He's currently down in 13th place. Pretty tidy lap up till now as he rounds the final corner. A little bit of oversteer on the way out of there, and he now heads for the line under the floodlights here, and he goes up to 11th quickest. Still 8 tenths away from Paul, and to be 8 tenths away and outside the top 10, Sam, that really does tell you just how tight this field is, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know the feeling from ILR2. I think Tom was 3 tenths off pole in Australia and started P8, so you know you have to get your lap perfect in ILR, otherwise you're just starting way down the field.
You sure are, but I'm going to ride on board now with Jack Gooding, of course, league owner, and ILR3 racer. He does tend to try and pop into the other races when he can, as he gets a huge kick of oversteer. Currently 6th quickest coming out of that turn 10, and just as we were discussing there, Sam, it's so easy to get it right, so easy to get it wrong, and Jack there seemingly losing a couple of tenths with that kick of oversteer on the exit. And the problem is, Sam, if you get it wrong on the exit, you've got a full straight to try and suffer down, don't you? I mean, it's not as if you've got a corner coming up right away. You lose all the momentum and tenths start dribbling away as you head down the straight towards the next corner. But let's keep an eye on Jack Gooding. I think he's one of the first men to see the checkered flag. He may not see the checkered flag, but I don't think he'll have fuel to do another lap after this. We'll keep an eye and see whether he does abandon at the end of this one. What will he do? He's currently in 6th place. Only 4 tenths needed to be found if he can put it on Paul, and Jack Gooding does not improve. He's half a tenth slower than his current best, and he does back out of it. So there you go. He was only fueled for one more run. What about Carl Meds? He is heading round turn 13, and he's backed out of it. What about Goody? Final corner. Currently 4th, he's slowly crept his way up the order. Is he possibly building for a great final run? It looks like he might be. Oh, he is! He goes quick as a ball. 1:28.550. He's been threatening. He's been slowly keeping up the order. He was 9th, then he was 5th, then he was 4th, and now he snatches the pole right on the checkered flag. Can anyone respond? We've got Yannick out there. Joker, King MJG out there as well. Here goes Yannick, the race winner last time out in China. He's up against it here. 1 tenth to find to try and knock Goody 2K7 off the top spot. Here he goes, round the final corner here in Bahrain, up to the line for McLaren Honda. Dare to dream, and he puts it on Paul. 1:28.3, lowers the bar even further. Now the Joker out of the final corner, currently in 3rd for the Sauber team. What can he do? He can stay 3rd with no improvement, and he's actually only 1,000 slower than his previous best. How agonising. Carl Meds is 5th, no better. Disciples only managed his 7th. Jack Gooding's retired as well. So it's all down to Jamie coming up to the line. Can he knock Yannick off the top? No, he can't. And he stays in, what was it, 4th position? Yes, it's 4th for Jamie. But Yannick steals the show with a late bid to deny Goody 2K7. Well, there you go. That rounds off a fantastic Bahrain Grand Prix qualifying session. And as tight and as close as that tomorrow, we will be in for a thriller. It's Yannick on pole for McLaren, then it's Goody in 2nd, with the Joker in 3rd, the Germans and the Dutch walking out the top 3 places. Then it's Jamie in 4th, you were looking for a good run from there. Carl Meds is 5th, Jack Gooding 6th, Decipher 7th, Ritz in 8th, Low Racer 9th, and Cloudy Balloons rounding out the top 10. I've got to ask you, Sam, is there anyone in particular that stole the show for you, that really looked as if he was outperforming himself, or outperforming the car perhaps?
Well, I mean, Yannick for me is definitely, he's something else. That time of a 28.3 is incredible for ILR3. But I think Jamie, he's really outshone everyone there, really. You know, I mean, no one really expects Jamie to do that well very often, but you know, he's just come out the blocks straight into P4, and he could definitely get a podium in this race.
Yeah, he will be. I think Jamie could be one to watch. As I said earlier on in the broadcast, He has been practicing his race pace. He believes that his race pace could be enough to claw him up into the battle for victory. So we will keep an eye on this and see if Jamie can threaten out at the front. But at the moment, it's Yannick stealing the show on top. Goody with a good run as well, so we'll keep an eye and see if they can really get themselves involved at the front. But I mean, there's a good run from Yannick, Joker, Goody and Jamie. They all look like real contenders for a victory, and I can't wait to see how it unfolds, Sam. I'm not going to pick a winner, as I said in qualifying. I don't fancy going down to the bookies to put a bet on this, no chance. But Yannick, after that time in qualifying, a couple of tenths quicker than anyone, you'd have to say you would be maybe the slight favourite, wouldn't you?
Yeah, definitely, especially after winning China as well last time out. You know, he's come straight into ILR3. He is a real driver as well. He drives F4 cars and Audi TT Cup cars, so you know he knows his stuff. And I mean, you definitely have to say he's the favourite for this one, surely.
Yeah, he sure is. And Yannick on top. Let's have another quick rundown of the order and the tyre compounds chosen by those outside the top 10 as well. Obviously, everyone in the top 10 has to start the tyres they qualified on, and they all, of course, chose the quickest tyre to qualify on, which is, of course, the super soft. So Yannick Goody, Joker, King, MJJ and Carl Mez round at the top 5. Jack Gooding is 6th, the winner in the first race in Melbourne. Deciphers is 7th, Ritson 8th, Low Racer 9th and Cloudy Balloons in 10th. All, as I said, on super soft tyres. Then it gets interesting, Sam, doesn't it? We've got Wazzy in 11th on the soft compound tyres. Then, interestingly, nobody going for the mediums. We've got Sim and Akon 12th and 13th, also on super softs, much like the top 10. Then we've got Grun going against the grain with a set of softs. So Lane on super softs, Owen Wire on softs, and Audio Driller on super softs. Right, Sam, a little bit surprised perhaps, no one going for the medium tyre.
Yeah, I would have expected at least one driver to go on the mediums, try something different. You know, you would be slower, of course, in the first stint, but then you'd really come into your own in the second stint on the super softs. So, you know, the super softs maybe not the race tyre around here. I'd say the softs and the mediums are definitely better for the race. But yeah, I'm really surprised nobody started on the mediums, to be honest.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see how those guys in the softs get on. And with no one on mediums, maybe you could argue takes away from the excitement of the guys coming through the field on mediums or staying out later on mediums to try and interfere with the leaders. But it's still set up to be a brilliant race. As we said in qualifying yesterday, so many areas where you can make an overtaking manoeuvre. So it promises to be an absolute cracker. So here we go. The lights are coming on for the start of the Bahrain Grand Prix. The 5 red lights are on, and we will go racing in Bahrain in the desert. No! Yannick takes the lead for pole. It's a super start off the grid from Yannick. It's a great start. Look at one of the Renaults coming down there. Is that Jamie with a flying start? It is. Right up into third place as we approach turn 1. But it's Yannick in the lead. Then it's Goody. Jamie with that flying start up into third and now losing it as he now gets Carl Mez going ahead of him up into fourth. Have we got an incident down at the back? A few cars off. Yeah, we got 2 cars off. That is Cloudy Balloons and Ritson facing the wrong way down at turn 3, so not at all what Ritson and Cloudy Balloons would have hoped for. They've dropped down. Owen Wyatt further up the road is also off the track. So 3 cars all suffering on this opening lap. Ritson with the entire front wing missing. Serious damage for Cloudy Balloons. I think Owen Wyatt might have got away unscathed and might be able to attack the guys further up. But Goody in second place at the moment, half a second behind Yannick as things stands, and keeping him honest on this opening lap. It's Yannick leading from Goody second, Jamie up 1 to 3rd. He's held off Carl Meds, who's up to 4th. The Joker, the big loser on that opening lap, Sam, down to 2 places, isn't he?
Yeah, Jamie had an absolute flyer off the line, got straight into P3. Had to battle Joker as well for that, so yeah, Joker really is the biggest loser, losing out to Carl Meds as well, so yeah, poor start from him.
Yeah, poor start for him, and it's now became a poor start for Mr. Sim as well. He's lost his front wing down at the rear of the field and is rejoining he and Ritson will need a strip to the pits, as will Cloudy Balloons. Owen Wyatt, I think, might just have got away with it unscathed as they all cross the start line to be getting the second lap. It's Yannick in the lead, Goody second, King MJJ third, Carl Meds fourth, and the Joker in fifth as they all hurtle their way down into that first corner. And the Joker from a long way back as I look up the inside of Carl Meds. Carl Meds opens the door a little bit, invites him, teases him up the inside, but the Joker is left unable to make that move. But that was a late lunge, having a late look as Disciples meanwhile is battling with Akon. I think Wazzy's lost a few places. He's off the road and dropped down to 11th place and all that. Meanwhile, Akon and the Cyphers go side by side. Akon with damage to that front wing on the right end plate, and it looks like he's losing out, and Sir Lane moves ahead up into 9th position. The Cyphers in 8th. So there we go, back to the front of the action as it's all explosive down up in the midfield. We've got 4 cars in the pits, as I thought, in this opening lap. Interestingly, Sam out front, no signs of Yannick pulling away, is there?
No, he must have been all quality pace or something, but Goody and Jamie, I think, probably tending to go more for the race setup as well, so hopefully providing a bit of entertainment up top. I would really love a close race today, and it's certainly proven to be that way so far.
Yeah, it will be quite interesting. As we suspected, Sam, we did call it. We did think that Jamie would have good race pace, and Goody as well showing some great pace right on the back of Yannick in the early stages. With the DRS, of course, will be active very, very soon at the end of the next lap, so we'll be able to see if Goody is close enough to line up a move. What about Low Racer though? He's looked very, very racy up behind Jack Gooding as they cross the start-finish line. Jack Gooding, the winner of the opening race in Melbourne, arguably a surprise winner of the opening race in Melbourne, given where he started, right down outside the top 10, as Low Racer has a little look into turn 1, but unable to find a way past Jack as they go through 1, 2, climbing up through turn 3, and now up towards turn 4, and still no way through. And at the moment, it's looking like it's quite difficult to make a move, surprisingly. Meanwhile, as I say that, commentator Scars, we've got Sir Lane up the inside, and he's making a move on the Cyphers as he side by side through turn 4, sweeping down the hill towards 5 and 6. It's usually single file through there, and the Cyphers holds on to that 8th place, and Sir Lane will have to try again in 9th position. Some good action in the midfield, and Sir Lane looking racy, and remember, he started outside the top 10, didn't he? So he's made some good progress early on. Interestingly, Wazzy, Audio Grilla, Cloudy Balloons, 3 drivers that were involved in the early opening lap accidents have all gone onto the medium compound tyre, Sam. And what do you think? Can they make the end of this Grand Prix from there? Or is that just asking a little too much?
I think it's just a little bit too much. I think if you want to make the end on mediums, you'd have to pit around lap 5 or 6. I think going straight from lap 1, I don't know. I don't think they'll make it. They'll have to stop again onto supers probably.
Well, okay, that's a shame for them. That'll be agonising news. Pirelli will probably have told them that they would not advise getting those mediums all the way to the end, as Low Racer again looks very racy, doesn't he? Behind Jack Gooding, and down towards that first corner as Yannick now stretches his lead a little bit. Is he possibly now responding to Goody? Was he playing games earlier on, or just finding his rhythm as he now makes the new fastest lap of the race? Almost extends that gap beyond the second. Meanwhile, Low Racer up the inside of Jack Gooding into turn 1. Can he complete the move? Jack Gooding on the outside tries to fend him off, and for the moment does. Low Racer will have to try again, climbing up the hill towards turn 4. That's the joy about Bahrain. If you don't do it into turn 1, you can have another look into turn 4, but unfortunately the Ferrari does not have the straight line speed to do it. What about on the exit? Whoa! Big kick of oversteer, and just a little bit too eager, Sam, to get on the throttle, wasn't he?
Yep, for sure. Put way too much power down there.
Somebody's off in front of that. That's the Joker off the road. Hold on. Joker. Oh, look,
my
he's rejoined,
word.
and that was a little bit naughty. That was a little naughty, wasn't it? Rejoining in front of Low Racer, and he might end up with a penalty for that. And Jack Gooding now moving ahead of the Joker as a result. How did you see that one, Sam? In fact, hold on, before we discuss that, he's coming back as Joker on Jack Gooding, up the inside. Can he complete the move? Oh, he can. Well, some poor racing a moment ago, some great racing there to do a move on Jack Gooding as he went into turn 11, and through goes the Joker back up into that 5th place, which he looked like losing. Sam, what did you at first think of his rejoin to the track, and then what did you think of his move?
It was just poor awareness, really. I should have seen the Ferrari coming. I for one, wouldn't do it in front of the owner of ILR, that's for sure. But yeah, the move was spectacular. Great way to make up for it. But yeah, I could see him getting a penalty for that.
Yeah, I sure can, or at least a warning. Thankfully, Low Racer has not taken any severe damage to his wing. It looks like it's all intact and it's all okay. That it was there. It's here, the Ferrari garage below us, Sam. They were not happy. There was a few roars going up when we seen the Joker's very strange rejoin to the racetrack, very direct rejoin to the racetrack, as to be said, and they ended up with Low Racer clipping the wall in evasive action. So thankfully no damage done, and he's back in 7th position, and he'll have to try again to attack Jack Gooding, who looked like he had the move done on the Joker, but Unfortunately for him, it didn't quite happen. It's lap 5 though, out of 29, and Yannick has now stretched that lead out to around 1.8 seconds, and furthermore, Jamie is at a further 1.8 seconds back from Goody as well, so the top 3 beginning to spread out a little bit. Is Yannick looking after the tyres better perhaps, Sam?
He could be, but I was expecting him to be a little bit closer. I mean, maybe they're suffering from dirty air and having to back off a little bit to keep their tyres up, but I mean, I don't know. I was hoping for it to be a lot closer and, you know, see moves along the straights, but I don't know. Maybe we'll have to see some strategic masterclass from these guys.
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting about how it all pans out. But as you say, I'm a little bit surprised that Goody and Jamie have all of a sudden just almost dropped off the edge of a cliff, and all of a sudden Carl Med is looking like threatening Jamie for that final podium spot at the moment, isn't he? 6/10 back and homing in that Force India on the back of that Renault in front, and look at him on the brakes into turn 1. He looked so much more confident, gaining a few yards, a few meters on the back of that Renault, and now we can see that yellow and black car in front far clearer, and Jamie will be blinded in his mirrors by that Pink Panther getting ever bigger and ever brighter, won't he, Sam? What do you think of that Force India car? It pleases some, and others think it's an absolute eyesore. What's your opinion?
Oh, I absolutely love it. I really wish I'd got it for ILR2, but you know, I for one, I like unique colours, and I've always had a soft spot for pink. I don't really know why, but yeah, I love a pink car, and I'm glad that they kept it for 2018 as well, so that'll be nice on the new game as well.
Sure, well, I have to agree with you. I'm a big fan of the pink car. Unique colours, that's a good way of summing it up. It's good to see a little bit of variation on the grid, because for a while in Formula 1 we were starting to see a lot of silver, grey and black cars, and it wasn't really that great personality looking grid, if you know what I mean. It didn't look that colourful, but now it does look like that, and unfortunately for Jamie, he's going to be blinded in his mirrors with that charging Carl Med and the Force India behind him. Look at him, he's now setting the move up as he heads down the back straight towards the final corner. Usually this is not an overtaking opportunity, it's usually all about setting up for the run into turn 1, isn't it, Sam?
Yeah, and he's doing that perfectly now. He's going to get him on DRS, I think, here into turn 1. And I know Jamie hates being overtaken by Carl, so this should be interesting.
Oh, well, he get defensive. Here we go, approaching turn 1. Jamie not making a move. He's moved it very late, and he's forcing Carl Med to the outside of the track. Jamie defends the inside. Carl Med tries to sweep clean round the outside of him. And I know, you know what? I think he has. No, he has not. Jamie tries his best and clings on for now. It looked like Carl Med had the traction, had the momentum, but no. Jamie found a second win from somewhere and kept that Renault in front. So for now, King and JJ holding on to that third place, and Carl Meds though looking like he is really threatening it, Sam, and it almost suggests that it's going to be a matter of time, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely a matter of time. I mean, Jamie could have caused an airplane crash there. He went very late to the inside. Carl had to quickly duck back to the outside, but I guess you could say it was good defending from Jamie, but it could have been a little bit too late there. But luckily they both got through.
I don't think it was too late. I think it was close to being too late for me, but yeah, I don't think it was. I think Carl Meds had enough time to make a move beyond that. I mean, yeah, I think it was okay. I think it was okay, but it's good to see people pushing the boundaries. That's what we like to see: close, hard, and fair racing. And for me, that was fine from Jamie, just about. And any later though, I think you're right. It could have been an airplane crash, but for now, Jamie holding on to that third place. Lap 7 now out of 29. It's still Yannick out in front. Goody keeping him honest at around 1.8 seconds. He's pinned him at that gap for the last few laps. Let's see if he can start eating into it now as Jamie makes a slight error and is actually bailed for the pits, dropping off Goody, and he's decided that it's time for a pit stop. What about Decipher's meanwhile? He's looking quite racy, right up behind Low Racer. Low Racer defends early, unlike Jamie, and look at the straight line speed difference. That Red Bull is flying. And I tell you what, I think it might have wings. Through he goes, up into 4th place, and there's nothing Low Racer can do. Was Low Racer in lean fuel moving aside or something there? It certainly looked like it, because it was easy for Deciphers, wasn't it, Sam?
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen a car have that much straight line speed before. That was incredible from the Red Bull there. I mean, like you said, it must have wings, but yeah, that was incredible from the Red Bull. He must be running something like 3.2 wings or something to get that much speed.
We'll see how he goes in the middle sector, but for now he's keeping it on the road, so I'm not going to argue with the engineers down at Red Bull. They can do a very good job, and they've set the car up beautifully for Deciphers, it seems, and through he goes, slipstreaming and cruising past low racer, up into 4th place. So where does Jamie rejoin the racetrack? Into clean air on a set of soft compound tyres. So is that a 2-stop, Sam, for Jamie? It looks like it.
Yeah, definitely a 2-stop. I think if you were going to try a 1-stop from supers to softs, you'd have to go till like lap 14 or something. But yeah, definitely a 2-stop there from Jamie.
And why do you think he's done that? Do you think he's worn the tyres out too much? Or do you think that might be his only strategy to try and get the podium, because Carl Metz was all over him? What do you think? It's hard to judge, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he was struggling towards the end of that first stint. You know, it was really dropping off Goody, and Carl was getting right up his grill. But yeah, I think Jamie's just going to try something different, try the 2-stop, see what happens, you know.
I tell you what, he's not the only one trying the 2-stop. We've got Yannick and Carl Metz in as well. So maybe it would be a 1-stop. We've got Yannick on a set of softs, so that is going to be a 2-stop for him. We've got Carl Metz on a set of mediums. Will they reach the end from here, Sam? 20 laps? Is that asking a little bit much, or can they reach the end from there?
They'll definitely make the end. They're safe to make the end from here. Probably end with about 60% wear.
Okay. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? So Jamie ahead of Carl Metz by quite a margin. He now needs to really work that gap up, doesn't he? He really needs to get a move on. Yannick as well rejoins, comfortably ahead of Jamie as we suspected, and a car between them as well. So Yannick back out in 5th position, Owen Wyatt 6th, King MJG 7th, and Carl Metz 8th. So that's quite interesting to see. The stop count, I'm going to have a quick look at the stops. Yannick, as you can see, has stopped, and everyone from 7th down has been in the pit. So we still wait for Goody, Cyphers, Low Racer, Akon, and Owen Wyatt yet to make a pit stop. There's a little bit of action between Jack and the Joker. That's not the first time they've been battling, is it, Sam?
No, I think Jack might have just lost his end plate there. I saw a bit of debris flying.
He certainly lost it now. Oh, and into him he goes. The two of them go off the racetrack down at turn 10, and he lost a good chunk of it, Sam, and then he lost an almighty chunk of it. And I'd be surprised if Joker is not going to puncture from that, because that was a hefty hit, and I think Jack's really struggling with understeer now, and he will need to come into the pits, and that's totally destroyed the joint championship leaders race. And from the joy of Melbourne, Sam, it's all gone flat since, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think the joke was a little bit naughty there. He dived down the inside of the hairpin, and then Jack turned into him. I don't know if Jack could have avoided that. Probably have to watch it back in a bit, but yeah, lost damage on him. Then I don't really know what happened there. Was it turn 9, turn 10?
Yeah, I seen turn 10. I didn't see before that. I didn't see the initial damage, but I seen into turn 10 where Jack just outbraked himself really and clouted the back of the Joker going into turn 10. I don't know what happened in turn 8, but certainly in turn 10 Jack totally outbraked himself and damaged the wing. So I'm not sure about that. But interestingly, while we were discussing that, Goody has been in the pits and fitted a set of mediums. He's just been in, hasn't he? Yeah, Goody's just been in, fitted a set of mediums, and is ahead of Jamie, crucially, Sam. So Jamie really needs to try and get ahead of Goody right now and try and work a gap up if he wants to be serious about challenging him towards the end of the race. But you've got to see, it's going to be an uphill struggle from here, isn't it? We believe that the one stop, going by the research done and practice, is the quicker strategy, Sam. And you'd have to say it would be difficult for Jamie to finish ahead of Goody, even if he does make a move here, isn't it?
Yeah, Jamie's going to have to absolutely fly up the road, and you know, his softs are going to wear out a lot quicker than those mediums, and then you know, he'll fall probably another 15 seconds or so behind Goody at the next stop. So yeah, I can't see Jamie really finishing ahead of Goody here in this race.
Yep, as we have a final man into the pits. No, not quite final, we're still waiting on Owen Wyatt as Low Racer now ends the marathon stint on the super softs. That was good going from him, and he goes on to a set of the mediums. You've got to say, Sam, that's an impressive stint, isn't it? 11 laps.
Yeah, I mean, he probably may have been able to go further. I don't know if he's on a wheel or not. If he's on a wheel, he might have been able to go a bit further.
Game just randomly ejected there. I don't know why. Go back from that. Oh my god, and PlayStation's playing up. No way.
Oh no.
Go back in a few minutes.
Oh, well, I'll take over for a bit, I guess. So yeah, Jamie's just trying to hang on to the back of Goody for now and try and maybe attack him down the DRS straight into turn 1. Other than that, nothing really much happening.
I fixed that. I don't believe this. I fixed this. I took the cover off this and fixed this. I don't know what's up there. I'll take my risk. We're back in 5 minutes. We'll try and go back in 5 minutes.
Okay. So while Andy tries to sort his PlayStation out, I will be taking over for the next, I don't know, 5 minutes or so, however long it takes Andy to fix it. But yeah, I'll ask the chat, how are you guys enjoying the race? Hopefully it's been pretty good. Jamie here trying to make a move on Goody. He's been stuck behind him now since Goody pit. Hasn't really been able to make too much ground on him. Is he going to get him here though with the DRS? He's looking a bit close here. He might go to the inside. He does, and it's Jamie to the inside. Goody on the outside then. Can Jamie get the brakes? Yes he can, and that's a lovely move. Lovely move from Jamie to get himself into P2 as he now tries to hunt down Yannick for that P1 spot. But here comes Goody back at Jamie around the outside, maybe at turn 4, but can't quite hang it there, and Jamie is up into P2. And he will now try and chase down that McLaren of Yannick, who won last time out in China, of course. He'll be looking to make it 2-2 here in Bahrain under the lights. There's Acorn and Owen Wyatt having a little bit of a scrap. Here comes Owen Wyatt trying to go around the outside, and the McLaren driver, this could be fantastic if he pulls it off. Oh my word, they're just there still side by side. Is Owen going to be brave and try and hang around the outside? Yes he is, but Acorn cuts him off a little bit there, and Owen is going to have to settle to stay behind, but he goes to the inside again for the hairpin. Oh my word, this is fantastic racing. Oh, a little bit of oversteer. Hits Acorn's side pod, but I think it's all okay for now. Down the inside goes Owen Wyatt again at turn 10. Oh my word, this is incredible racing, these two side by side. Owen Wyatt has the DRS. Acorn really can't do much about it now. Squeezing him to the inside though. And Acorn switches to the inside for the next corner. This is incredible racing from these two. But it is Owen Wyatt who comes out on top in the end. And what a battle that was for P11 in this race. Not even for a point. Not even for a point, but these boys put on a show there. Fantastic driving from them. As Goody is still on the back of Jamie's Renault here. He's not letting Jamie get away, and Jamie is falling back from Yannick, I believe, ever so slightly. And Acorn and Owen Wyatt going at it again into turn 1. It is Acorn around the outside. Loses it though. Too much wheel spin. Went too far wide. I think he blew the brakes. Ended up going too far wide there. And ended up spinning the car. And he has lost all that ground he had on Owen. 6 seconds maybe to Owen Wyatt now. And that could be a lot of tyre wear now on his mediums. I'll just see if our resident commentator needs an invite. I believe he does, yep. Sorry for the blue screen. Just getting Andy back, there we go.
Apologies for that, folks. Slight game issue. I'm going to have to take my console apart again to figure out what's wrong with it. But we are now back. And what have I missed, Sam? Have I missed much of the action?
You missed a hell of a battle for P11 between Owen Wyatt and Acorn. It lasted pretty much the whole lap. In the end, Acorn spun it at turn 1. I think he blew the brakes and got too much wheel spin on the curb and just lost it. But other than that, nothing really.
Well, it is now lap 14 out of 29. We're about to reach the halfway point of this Grand Prix, and Yannick now has really stretched his advantage. 6.4 seconds. And I see Jamie's now ahead of Goody as well. So Jamie got his move done on Goody up into second place. Now can he stretch that advantage out? He's going to really need to go like crazy, isn't he? He's going to be pushing like mad, sweating buckets in that Renault cockpit. Of course, out in the desert, one of the hottest Grand Prix of the season. But of course, I suppose that the heat's been taking off a little bit in recent years with the introduction of the night race and the floodlights taking action and the cooler temperatures, which of course will suit the drivers and the teams and the fans in the grandstand, making everything a lot more bearable as he now tries to pull away from Goody on those soft compound tyres to give him a real chance on super softs later on of attacking Goody on what will be old medium. But Yannick at the moment 6.4 seconds ahead of Jamie. Can Jamie close it in on this stint and maybe show that he's quicker on those soft compound tyres? It won't be easy, because we know Yannick is no slouch and he's going for 2 wins from 2, Sam, and what a great start to his career that would be.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. I mean, like, not many people can come into ILR and say they've won their first 2 races. So yeah, he is a fantastic driver. Maybe a little bit too quick for this tier by the looks of things. Maybe looking at a promotion to ILR2 very soon.
Yeah, he might be if he continues this pace. He's doing a great job, and he's 6.8 seconds now and building the gap ahead of King and JT in second. Then it's Goody in third on that 1 stop. But there's no certainty that Yannick's won this race yet. He is on a 2 stop, and he is going to have to try and overtake the likes of Goody and Carl Medge as the race goes on. Sam, at the moment, is he building a gap up quickly enough, do you think, to make it work on Goody?
I mean, he's opened up about 2.5 seconds to Goody over the last 4 laps or so. So, I mean, it might not be enough, but on those super softs, he is going to be absolutely flying compared to the guys on the mediums.
Well, Goody's on the move. He's going round the outside of Jamie on the mediums. Have the best of those tyres for Jamie now gone, and other mediums coming into their own. Goody tucked right up behind Jamie as they head down towards turn 4. Jamie senses the danger, goes defensive to the inside of the track. Can the Williams sweep right round the outside? He might not have to. Jamie goes deep into the corner. Goody on the switchback moves back up into second position, and now has the clean air he needs to keep that gap pegged to Yannick. Brilliant racing. He bided his time, Sam, and eventually made the move stick at turn 4.
Yeah, lovely move, easy switch back. Really, Jamie, a little bit too much on the brakes there. You know, run wide a bit, and Goody took full advantage of that. Got the switch back, lovely move, back up into P2.
Yeah, it's P2 for Goody. Now this will be interesting, won't it? Can he peg Yannick around 7.5 seconds? If he can, Sam, you have to say Goody, on that strategy, might be moving himself into the position of favourite for the victory. I mean, because Yannick is going to have to pull a massive amount of time on him after this pit stop and go through the likes of Jamie and Carl Medge, and maybe even the Joker as well after this pit stop.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting finish.
The pit too. Or they both need to pit for.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a pretty exciting finish either way. It could be coming down to a last lap finale. I would hope that happens, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, we sure will. It's now lap 17 out of 29. Yannick 2000 in the lead on course at the moment, potentially for a second victory. He will have to stop again though. Goody in second, does not have to stop again, 7.3 back. Then it's King and JJ running in third on those soft tyres, keeping Goody very honest indeed. Then it's Carl Medge in fourth, also on that one-stop strategy, certainly in the hunt for a podium this afternoon. The Joker in fifth on a 2-stop, so the top 3 of the top 5 on the 2-stop, the other 2 on the medium tyres, going to the end on the 1-stop. Then in 6th it's the Cyphers, Low Racer 7th, Sirlane 8th and Wazzy in 9th. They're all hoping to go to the end. It might be a tall order for Wazzy though, given how early he was in for mediums, so we'll keep an eye on that. Then in 10th is Owen Wyatt, currently holding on to that final points paying position. Then outside the points it's Akon 11th, Jack Gooding dropping down to 12 after that strong showing earlier on in the top 6, damaging his front wing in a collision with the Joker. Then it's Ritson in 13th, Cloudy Balloons 14th, FC Gran is 15th, and Audio Villa, who is disconnected, is at the back, and of course Mr. Sim retired earlier on in the Grand Prix. So it is, as you were, between Yannick, Goody and King and JD. We've got a little battle developing here further down the field, don't we, Sam, for 7th and 8th. We've got Low Racer against Sirlane, both on mediums, and Low Racer's running wide. He's got slight damage on his wing, and that allows Sirlane to try and go right round the outside, and he gets squeezed out of road. And you know what, I'm not going to really have too big a go at Low Racer there. I think his front wing damage might not really have been helping him, but then again, the same can be said for Sir Lane, because it appears he is slight damage too on the right hand end plate of his car as they go into the final corner. Ferrari against Haas. A lot of people have been critical of Haas copying a lot of Ferrari's things for the 2018 season. A lot of their, oh, look at that squeeze right up to the wall, and Sir Lane, doesn't matter to him, he's got balls of steel, he ties up the inside, uses the gap, the very small gap that was there to go through, but now Loris on the outside, tries to hold on and does quite comfortably. Sir Lane seemingly not too confident in the brake pedal there, Sam.
No, locked up into turn 1 there, but that was fantastic race between those two. Squeezed right up against the wall, managed to squeeze himself through. Unfortunately, couldn't get the move done.
We're not finished, and Sir Lane comes back alongside. They bang wheels and they go into an area that is usually single file, sweeping down the hill through the left and right handers, and somehow Low Racer stays ahead. What a battle! Sir Lane just seems to have excellent traction at the moment. Coming out of those corners, Low Racer really struggling. What about into this hairpin, through turn 9 and into the hairpin of 10? Low Racer still just about in front of Sir Lane as they head down one of the 2 DRS straights on this racetrack. Gaining and gaining and gaining is the man from Sheffield, but he's not gaining enough to make any sort of move. On Low Racer up ahead, so Sir Lane remaining in 8th position, Low Racer in 7th. A cracking little battle this, Sam, and as you were saying, really aggressive racing and on the limit racing going down into turn 1, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's what you like to see in F1. You know, you want to see drivers really going at it on the limit, and that's exactly what these two are doing. Fantastic stuff.
And we're about to have a repeat, I think. Here goes Sir Lane. Again, down the start-finish straight. Low Racer this time defends very early to the inside. Makes his intentions clear. He wants to force Sir Lane round the outside. But remember, Sir Lane has got great traction in that Haas. If he can get the braking right, he's going to have a great chance going up towards turn 4. You know what? He might even do it before then. And he does! Through he goes, but still Low Racer is there. Almost off the road! No. He is off the road! He's in the wall! And Low Racer damages the front wing. It's gone in its entirety. And Sir Lane's up to 7th, and Low Racer seemingly out with what might be suspension damage. He pulls over to the left-hand side of the track, and Low Racer's race is run. The Dutchman will be furious, won't he, Sam?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I don't know if Sir Lane could do much better. He got a lot of oversteer out that corner, and you know, Low Racer was just in the wrong place at the wrong time there. But you know, we'll have to see what Charlie Whiting says after the race.
We sure will. It's a shame for Low Racer, his races run. I have to agree with you. It just seemed like it just got a little bit messy for Low Racer. A bit flustered to see the Sir Lane was coming past him. I think he just got all out of shape on the throttle, was a little bit greedy, and then through turn 3 he was off the road on the AstroTurf, out of shape, and then as he rejoined, went into the side of Sir Lane's car, and that sent him on a one-way trip towards the barrier, and in the end it's resulted in a Low Racer retirement. And that's a real shame for him and the Ferrari team. So out he goes, he joins Acorn, FC Grun and Mr. Sim on the sidelines. We've got 4 retirements, and it's lap 20 out of 29. What are you seeing? You're seeing some pit stops, aren't you? Yes.
Yeah, I'm very surprised. Joker's gone on to another set of softs.
Oh. Okay, so the Joker onto the softs.
I mean, I'm definitely sure the super softs can make it from here. 9 laps is pretty easy on the supers, but to go on another set of softs, maybe he's thinking about tyre life and the fact that the supers can go off pretty early. Maybe he's trying to prolong his tyres and keep the pace up to the end.
Yeah, maybe he's going to need it towards the end to try and defend from people, perhaps, or try and attack people later on in the stint. Quite an interesting strategy there from the Joker, because Jamie, of course, has gone on to the super softs. Now we wait for Yannick to make a stop, which will be pretty soon. What do you think, Sam? Could you call it right now? 9 seconds roughly to Goody. Has he built up a big enough cushion to make this easy life for him after he pits? Or is he intending to pit? Can he do the incredible and go right to the end?
I mean, you never know in this situation. I think he'd have to come in this lap at least to go onto the super softs. Otherwise he'll have to keep going on those softs. Otherwise he won't make the time up. So you know, it's very interesting right now. Let's see what he does.
So you and I, we think that the optimum lap is either lap 20 or lap 21 to come in off those soft compound tyres on the 2-stop and fit super softs. Because as you say, Sam, he won't make the time up if he leaves it any later. And he is still extending that gap, but it's not extending the same way it was. It's fluctuating around the 8.8 to 9 second mark. So he needs to be careful here, Yannick. He needs to consider a pit stop if he wants to make the time up, because if he continues like this, Jamie will be eating into that gap very quickly, won't he, on his super softs, and so will the Joker. But I don't think he'll be eating into it enough to stop Yannick when he comes into the pits on this lap, if he does, of course. But I'm pretty certain, Sam, that he will come in. He is still the leader at the moment. Then it's Goody in second, Carl Med third, and Disciples in fourth. Those three drivers from second to fourth, all intending to go to the finish on those medium compound tyres. Was Disciples in early on the opening lap, or was he one of those guys on the same strategy as Goody and Carl Med? No, he was. Same strategy. Same strategy. So those three are drivers that Yannick might need to pass. Let's have a quick look at the gap to the leader. 22 seconds to Disciples as he comes in. So Yannick is pitting. So this is it. This is where the race will be decided. The remaining 8 laps. Will Yannick come out ahead or behind of Disciples in 4th place? That will be important as well, because that would be one less car to overtake and he can get out ahead. This is why the mechanics practice so much over the winter and on Thursdays before the Grand Prix, to make sure that they get their man out onto the racetrack as quickly as they can, to try and make up as many places as they can. Goody has gone past our commentary box window and into the lead, and now
it's going to be close. It's going to be close.
We've got a pit stop from Carl Med, and it looks like Disciples is ahead, is he? Yes, just about ahead. But interestingly, Carl Med came into the pits off the medium tyres onto a set of softs. Why that? But never mind that for now. Yannick on a charge, desperate to find a way through, and he dives up the inside on lap 22 out of 29, ahead of Disciples. And now, with 7 laps to go, he begins his pursuit of race leader Goody. It's going to have to be a momentous challenge. He needs to get 2 seconds a lap, Sam. Can you call it now? Can he do it? What do you think?
2 seconds a lap. I mean, he might be able to do that for the first 3 laps or so on those supers, but they will start dropping off. It's too tough to call. I really don't know.
Well, it's going to be absolutely thrilling. Stay tuned, folks. We're set for a brilliant finale. The pot has been simmering all race long, but now the pot is about to boil over as we go towards the remaining 7 laps of this Grand Prix. Can Yannick, on fresh super softs, catch the aging medium tyre shod Goody in front of him in the Williams? It's going to be a challenge, but there's every chance he could. He is, of course, the joint championship leader, Yannick. He has won on his debut, and now in his second race is chasing back-to-back victories here in ILR3 across the start-finish line to begin his 23rd lap. He goes 12.6. The gap is being sliced and chopped away corner by corner, second by second here, and there's every possibility he can do it. Interestingly, Carl Med felt the need to come off his mediums and go into a set of super softs. Why was that, Sam? Strange decision, that.
Yeah, it's a strange decision, but maybe, you know, some drivers like tyres, some drivers don't. Maybe he just felt that he didn't really like the mediums, didn't like the pace, and wanted to get on something quicker to try and maybe push himself towards that maybe 4th place.
But you got to feel he was looking good for a podium though, wasn't he? It's a strange one from Carl. I thought he would have got the podium anyway if he continued. Maybe he didn't feel they'd make the finish, and as a result he finds himself in 6th place. But not that we're complaining, Sam. That gives us plenty of excitement out there as he now begins his chase of Joker, King and JJ, and possibly even Disciples in the remaining laps. We've got a little battle do we further down the field? I've seen some positions changing. No, apparently not. I thought we did have a battle further down, but no, we do not. As Carl Meds now gets himself into position behind the Joker, as the Yannick now cuts the gap down to 11.4 seconds. He really is reeling Goody in. Can Goody in the Williams hold on? And interestingly, Sam, make it 3 different winners from the opening 3 races here in ILR3. That's a stat we like to see.
Yeah.
The Goody can hold on. But we'll keep an eye on Carl Meds as he attacks Joker. Joker on softs, Carl Meds on super softs, both recently in the pits. Carl Meds on the fresher tyre. Look at Joker. He senses the danger. He goes defensive to the inside of the track. Now into the final corner. Joker a little bit out of shape going through there. Carl Meds right up into his gearbox as they head across the start-finish line. The Joker gets defensive to the pit wall, and here goes Carl Meds. Can he sweep round the outside? Can he outdo him in the straight line? Can he drag him into turn 1? Round the outside. Oh, that looks like he can. Brilliant stuff from Carl Metz, but he's not quite done it. The Joker, plenty of life in those soft tyres. Holds on for the moment. I thought Carl, with that momentum, was going to sweep clean past him, but no, there's plenty of tyre life in the Joker, and he laughs it off in style and holds on to that 5th position, and Carl will have to try again. Sam, where can he do it? What do you think? Where's Carl looking quickest? Oh, maybe even now. Maybe even now. Oh, we spoke about it in the qualifying show. That can be done down there, but it really does take a big move. You really need to basically put your race in the hands of the racing gods, don't you, Sam? You need to hope that the guy in front of you is going to not turn in, don't you?
Yeah, you really do. But I mean, he's going to have a good run here. He might think about it to the inside.
Oh, he's getting closer and closer. Not close enough, and this is hurting him, Sam, isn't it? He needs to find a way through and maximise those fresh, super soft tyres. He's not doing it at the moment. Oh, what about this? Up the inside into turn 13. Where do you ever see a move there? Oh, and very nearly ends in contact. The Joker, again, cuts off to the inside of the racetrack to try and defend. Look at the straight line speed of Carl, though. He looks very quick. Oh, the Joker potentially moving across the braking zone there, Sam. I think he might have.
Yeah.
Too much of a move, perhaps?
A little bit too much, yeah.
And now, down the start-finish straight, he might easy pickings. Carl again, right up behind him. Oh, he's going to be forced to the outside once more. Can he finally get the move done? The Joker defends the inside, and once again, Carl is left, stuck behind him. Great defending from Joker there. He knew to get to the inside and try and block Carl off, and it worked brilliantly. Joker again, defending the inside, and Carl again having a look, but no way through. And it remains the Joker 5th and Carl in 6th. What about down the hill through turn 5, sweeping down into the right-hander of 6, now through turn 7 and into the hairpin of turn 8. The Joker out of shape. Carl on the inside into turn 8. He puts his nose up the inside, lets him know he's there, but again he is foiled, and the Joker again is sitting there laughing, joking away to himself as he holds on to those 10 World Championship points. What can Carl try now? The DRS open on the exit of turn 10 towards turn 11. And again he will close onto the back of that Sauber using the Mercedes power unit in the back of that Force India. Unable to get close enough, and now he gets too close, clipping the back of the Joker, and unable to find himself up into 5th position. This will be really frustrating, Sam, won't it?
Yeah, I mean, he's got to make that move quickly, otherwise he's not going to be able to catch up to Jamie. But I mean, Joker's been defending fantastically. Maybe a little bit too far back here, Carl. Oh, poor run though.
Oh, I don't know. He kept the speed. He kept the speed. It was a poor run, but he kept the speed. And maybe this will work for him, being a little bit further back, and maybe surprise Joker on the brakes with a move up the inside. Oh, he is going to try that. He is going to try it. Oh, just a little too far back. I thought he was going to try and do a Daniel Ricciardo-esque switch back there. We've seen that from Pistas and ILR1 at the weekend. On Falcon in the early stages of the Chinese Grand Prix into the hairpin, and maybe Carl was thinking about that into turn 1, but unable this time as the Joker gets out of shape through turn 4. Carl does look really quick through 5 and 6, doesn't he? Through 5 into 6, and now through turn 7. Dirty air. What dirty air, says Carl? But once again he's foiled as Yannick continues to close the gap on the leader of Goody. But I think it's too little too late, and as you suggested before the Grand Prix started, Sam, the optimum strategy was the one stop, and maybe, just maybe, Yannick has been outthought by the Williams team, and Goody 2K7. He is looking good for the victory as Yannick continues to try and haul that gap in. What did you say, Sam, around 60% the tyre life for Goody? Is that what you think on the end?
Yeah, roughly around there, yeah.
So he should be okay, he should survive any puncture scares. With that gap, I wouldn't have thought you'll be too concerned about that. As Jamie now holding on to that 4th place. In fact, Sam closing in into Cyphers and potentially threatening that podium spot.
Yeah, I would love to see Jamie on the podium here.
Yeah, it really would be good. As we go back to Carl Metz, up behind the Joker. Will he try this time into turn 1? The Joker defends to the inside. He's too far back, isn't he?
Yeah.
Way too far back. And unfortunately he's unable to make a move stick as they go through that first corner and into turn 2 once more. It's lap 27 out of 29. Goody 2K7 is in the lead. He's fending off the charging Yannick. who's on the 2-stop in second. Then it's Deciphers in third, fending off the challenge of Jamie in fourth on the 2-stop. The Joker is fifth, Carl Metz is sixth, and he's attacking the Joker as well. Then it's Jack Gooding in seventh, a big 24 seconds back between sixth and seventh. Owen Wyatt 8th, and it's Wazzy in ninth, but he's in the pits, and Ritson in 10th. That is your top 10 at the moment. I think Wazzy will rejoin actually in 10th after that stop. Ritson up to 9th. Sam, the driver of the day, it's hard to call. In fact, no, we'll wait for that. There's too much action for now. I was going to suggest driver of the day, but Jamie is looking really racy here, Sam, isn't he? And threatening Deciphers for that third place.
Yeah, I think he'll get it possibly on the run down to turn 1 with the DRS. But I've been looking at Yannick's gap, and I don't think he has enough time. He would have to go about 2.5 seconds per lap for the last 2 laps.
I would think so. So it's not looking at all good for Yannick. A little bit deflated, it seems to be the message down at McLaren in the garage. They seem to know they're beaten. But Jenny, meanwhile, down in the Renault garage, and the Renault garage are getting quite excited. We can see Jamie potentially nipping a podium here. He's attacking Deciphers on their way down to turn 1. Is he close enough for a move? Not yet. But you know, we all know you can set a move up into turn 4 through here. What about Carl Metz? He's not close enough either. So back to Jamie. Can he now line it up to climbing the hill towards turn 4? Tucked right up behind Deciphers. But again, not close enough. I'm a little bit surprised, Sam. It's not been as easy as I thought it would be to make a move on this racetrack.
Yeah, I was expecting quite a few overtakes here as well, personally. But I don't know. I suppose maybe the dirty areas are a little bit strong. Oh, here comes Jamie. Oh.
Not quite. What about Carl? Not close enough either. Jamie certainly looks more likely to make a move than Carl does, given the difference in the tyre life between Deciphers and Jamie, and not only that, the difference in compound. 2 stages softer Jamie has, meanwhile Carl is only 1 stage softer than Joker in a battle for 5th and 6th. You would have to say Jamie will get Deciphers before the end, but those super softs will be starting to wear out quite badly now. They'll be reaching their limit of tyre life, of course, for anyone that doesn't watch Formula 1 regularly. The softer the compound, the quicker they wear, but obviously the softer the compound, the faster they are. So here we go, Jamie, great run coming out of 13, down towards the final corner. You've got to fancy a move here into turn 14 for Jamie. A late braking move, maybe? No, Deciphers very confident in the brake pedal there, wasn't he? And did a great job of getting it slowed down and holding his advantage. So Jamie, with his work cut out as they start the final lap, is he going to be close enough for a move into turn 1? It's one of his final overtaking moves. Opportunities. No, he's not, but he goes for the outside line. What about Carl Metz? He's quite close into 1. But not close enough as Jamie now sets up Deciphers. A fantastic run out of turn 2, and surely this time Deciphers is in trouble. Here comes Jamie, hit up the inside as they go into turn 4. Is the Renault now into the podium places? It looks like he is. Deciphers not giving it up though. Side by side they will go through turn 5 and 6, and Jamie is through. No, he's not.
No.
He's off. They're both off the road. Jamie and Deciphers off into the runoff area, and there goes the podium places. They were too busy squabbling for it, and in the end, neither of them are going to taste the champagne. It's going to be between the Joker and Carl Metz. Sam, what an absolute disaster.
Oh, I've got my head in my hands. I can't believe what has just happened. Absolutely unreal. You got to feel for Jamie there. You really got to feel for Jamie there, but
unbelievable. He'll be absolutely fuming inside that cockpit, but we've got to go to Goody 2K7. A masterful strategy. The one stop was the way to go, and he crosses the line. Goody 2K7 becomes the 3rd different winner in 3 races in ILR3. A fantastic performance. He holds off Yannick. Yannick had the pace, but Goody had the tyre life, and he is the king of Bahrain. Goody wins from Yannick in 2nd. The Joker looks like he's just about going to hold on to 3rd, with Carl Metz following him across the line in 4th. And in the end, Jamie and Deciphers are 5th and 6th. And in the end, neither of them get to taste the rosewater, not the champagne, the rosewater here in Bahrain. And what a disappointment for those two. A long, long way back is Jack Gooding in 7th. You will be wondering, it could have been a race, much better afternoon for him if it wasn't for that front wing damage with the Joker. That might go to the stewards later on. He comes home in 7th, and it's going to be Owen Wyatt home in 8th, and Ritson will be 9th, with Wazzy home in 10th. And I think Wazzy might get a little bit disappointed about that, given that he's managed to amass 20 3 points from the opening 2 races and then only to collect 1 today. So disappointing day for the South African driver. He comes home 10th, and that rounds it all off. So a fantastic performance from Goody 2K7. He had the durability, if not the pace, and in the end he has won the Bahrain Grand Prix in ILR3 to make it 3 different winners from 3 races. And look at that, Sam, he's absolutely delighted with himself, and quite rightly as well.
Yeah, fantastic performance for him. I don't think many would have had him down to win this race. It is a bit of a shot, but all fair play to him. Fantastic strategy call, and he just had the pace there as well. Fantastic, well-deserved win.
Well, there you go, a fantastic performance from Goody. He celebrates on the podium, having become the 3rd different winner this season, and that just sums up ILR3 at the moment. I said it at the top of the show, I am not going down to the bookies to predict a race winner, and as you said, Sam, very unpredictable and a surprising winner, but it's Goody 2K7 that wins the Bahrain Grand Prix from 2nd on the grid with that one-stop strategy. Yannick is 2nd, and it's the Joker home and 3rd. Carl Meds was 4th. King and JJ will be disappointed with that. It looked like he'd snatched the podium on that final lap, only to collide with Deciphers, and neither of them got to taste the champagne. He was 5th, Deciphers was 6th. Jack Turing recovered to 7th after an earlier bump with the Joker. Owen Wyatt was 8th, Ritson 9th, and of course Wazzy, as we mentioned, coming home in 10th. Sir Lane was 11th outside the points, and Ritson was the final finisher, 3 laps down in 12th. So Sam, I've got to come to you, I've got to ask you, who's your driver of the day this afternoon?
Definitely Goody. Fantastic strategy call from him. And, you know, Yannick, you could tell that he had the pace. He really reeled him in there, but just didn't have enough laps. And, yeah, Goody definitely, for me, driver of the day.
Yeah, I have to totally agree with you, Sam. I would back you up on that one. Goody, driver of the day, got the strategy right, kept a cool head with Yannick charging him down, and performed admirably. And becomes the 3rd different winner in ILR3 this season. So fantastic job by Goody. He wins, Yannick 2nd, and the Joker in 3rd. What about podium interviews? Do we fancy getting the guys in, or would we do that ILR3?
I mean, we used to, but I mean, a lot of people didn't really come into the party to talk, so I don't think it'd be really worth it.
Okay, well that's a shame. Well, congratulations to Goody. I'm sure they'll be watching the stream back. He wins the Bahrain Grand Prix, Yannick 2nd, the Joker in 3rd. It's been a fantastic evening here in the Bahrain International Circuit here in Sakhir. Be sure to join us at the weekend for ILR1 and ILR2. ILR1, of course, at the delayed time of 6 PM, and of course, following on from that, also half an hour delayed, is of course ILR2 at 7:30, and that is due to the Bahrain Grand Prix in real life being on and possibly overrunning and clashing with ILR1. So that's right, just to be clear again, join us for 6 o'clock for ILR1, 7:30 for ILR2 on Sunday evening. It's been myself, Ginger Andy, and of course Sam, also known as Flexi, and we hope to join you again soon for some more ILR action. Good night.